So for me, the reason I chose accounting to start with out of high school, like a lot of us out there, didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I liked numbers, and I didn't like to talk to people. So everyone kind of said, go with accounting, you'll love it. I still remember my first job in an accounting firm, and I vividly remember the dread every single day of like when I get in the parking lot, I knew what an unpleasant day was in store for me the rest of the day. You know, day one showed up hopeful like everyone else. You know, it's your first job out of college. You think it's going to be this big, amazing thing. You've worked so hard to get there. And then you kind of realize, hey, this place isn't as interesting, exciting, dynamic, or tech-friendly as you hope for. You see a lot of people still doing things by hand, a lot of really old computers, a lot of antiquated policies and procedures. When you kind of realize that there's this huge difference between the world you're expecting to walk into and what awaits you when you get there. So for me personally, when I got into the profession, I never truly loved what I did, but felt that drive and that expectation from others to me to become a partner someday. So I was kind of working towards this goal that I didn't really want, because that was just the burden, the expectation that if you're not going to become a partner someday, you're viewed as second rate or as a failure. You couldn't make it in the profession, no matter what your skills were. So there's that push to there, and I felt that as much as I felt no real drive to actually want to move towards being a partner in a CPA firm. One of the interesting things in the CPA firm landscape is when we look at partners, and I looked at almost all the partners that I worked with throughout my career, none of them seemed that happy, and especially, this is something I hear all the time when I work with millennials around the country in the profession. Yeah, I do not want to be that partner. I do not want their life, period, in any way or form. And it's caused one of those disconnects we see between the baby boomers and millennials, because some of those baby boomers do enjoy what they do, whereas millennials like myself, we see that and we say, ooh, that is not what I want to go towards. There's that huge gap between them. I'm not saying one's right versus one's wrong, but there's that gap in perception and desire. I think the biggest thing we kind of talk about understanding the millennial mind in the accounting profession in the US is, you know, millennials just grew up in a different time than the baby boomers. And we're shaped by the economic, geographic, and social impact of the world we live in, which is different than 30, 40, 50 years ago. That's what makes every generation different. Millennials are just a byproduct, like every generation, of when we grew up and what was happening in the world. We really want to make an impact in what we do. We also want to be much more entrepreneurial, we're much more prone to take risks, and we're much more ready in our lives to look and say, hey, what do I really want out of my life long-term, big picture? I don't want to just go through the rat race, the grind, every single day and chase a dream I might not want. I actually want to take a step back and think about, where am I going? Do I like where I'm going? Do I need to make a change or a pivot? And that's a big difference from generations before of, I'm going to stay on this path to partner, hypothetically, for 30 years. Whether I want it or not, that's the path I'm going to take. We as millennials are thinking ahead of time, do I want that path? Or do I want something different? And honestly, if you look at what kind of employees you want employees that think about the future and think about where they're going and aren't just going through the motions. So that's actually a good thing. When we look at firms right now in the United States and abroad, we're seeing tremendous problems with employee retention, turnover, and recruitment. That's really because a lot of times life inside a CPA firm hasn't changed with the times. Technology is incredibly outdated, their practices are outdated, and that's caused that disconnect with millennials that want a little bit more where they work. They really want to be entrepreneurial, they want coaching, they want mentorship, and they especially want to leverage technology. You know, like for myself, I grew up with technology my whole life. I expect technology to be there. So if I go to work in a firm that doesn't use technology, it clashes with my views on the world and how I've operated to date. My favorite part of what I do now is getting to make an actual, what I feel like, at least for me, is an impactful difference in somebody's life. I'm not just delivering a tax return or an audit to them. You can see that difference in their eyes when you make a difference in their life and you change how they view things or how they operate or what they can do. It's why I say that I love what I get to do every single day.
Are you tired of too much noise and junk cluttering up your inbox? Do you wish you can get the exact knowledge that you need and want, and not just another generic email blast that you won't read? I know you do. That is why it is time for a change. You need to subscribe to the Entrepreneurial CPA Channel newsletter powered by artificial intelligence. Our AI program learns what you like to read and provides you more of the content you consume. Stop the noise, stop the junk, get what you need. Click on the link and subscribe today. Take steps to invest in yourself.